Hello there, Libra. Welcome to your monthly reading. We're graced with Apollo's presence today. He just came back from a walk, and I am all ready to get into the energy of the month ahead. We're going to be looking at July, and there were quite a few things that came through dreams, so I'm going to put down Apollo. We're going to get started. There you go, buddy. First and foremost, I want to say welcome to everybody. If it's your first time here, this is a monthly reading, during which time we're going to take a look at the next 6 to 8 weeks, which prepares you for all the ups, the downs, and the in-betweens in this upcoming month here. And I like to begin with channeled messages, which I was just talking about, and basically this comes through dreams and meditations. Do me a favor if you wouldn't mind. If you're brand new to the channel and you want to make sure that you don't miss out on anything, please hit that like and subscribe. It helps more than you imagine. This is actually a way that new people can connect with the channel. Any level of engagement really is appreciated. I'll go into that a little bit more later. But first things first, let's talk about the channel messages for today. So the way that I work at the beginning is connecting directly with what I was seeing the night before, which is one form of divination. So in addition to the cards, I use dreams and meditations to really fine tune, and in this case, to see what's going on with the sign of Libra. So Libra, what I was picking up on for you was the ability to be more direct and basically avoid mixed signals. And I'll help you out through that as we talk through the slides here. The other thing here is putting yourself in new situations and basically getting out of your comfort zone. And I know it's much easier said than done. A lot of times we just want things to be predictable and the same old, but it feels like this is a month during which there's going to be a chance really for you to experiment, to grow and try new things. And then as a part of that, trusting how you feel when you go into this. You really don't want to force anything new. So we'll begin with the first slide here, avoiding mixed signals. So I saw that old-fashioned sort of signal, traffic signal in my dreams. And I also was present at a negotiation or a conversation where I could see that someone was trying to get out of something, which means to me that there was already an agreement that they were going to do something that they didn't want to. So here's my advice for all Libra right now. Really say yes if and only if you mean it and you're engaged and you're sure. If you're not certain, say you need some more time, get the research, talk to someone, make sure that if you think you might need to get out of something, that there is a way to do so. If you need to reschedule something, it's better to speak up earlier, because I saw that also as one potential outcome. I was looking at someone move things around on a calendar. So change is possible, but advance notice is the key to making sure that there's minimal friction with that. Essentially, try to avoid making commitments that you don't want to do, that you don't think you can do, or again, that you're conflicted with. And so this is why I featured two prominent cards here, the Queen of Swords, which is a very Libra card, and then the Seven of Swords, which is all about accountability. And sometimes there can be a well-intentioned Seven of Swords, which is saying something when you kind of know it's not possible, but you're going to try to make it happen anyway. Don't do that. It's better to raise a flag and say, hey, I think that we need to address this, or I need to look into this, or I'm just not comfortable giving you an answer yet. All of this will save you an infinite amount of energy in the long run. And be frank, be honest, be communicative. Queen of Swords energy, very Libra. That is one of one of the cards that represents you. So all of this is, to me, feeling really good. It's saying you can get ahead of a headache, basically, and that's why you show up here, okay? Now, getting out of your comfort zone. This is exciting because what it represents to me is a chance for movement and change. So I saw a duck that wasn't in the water. Very simple for me. You might find yourself in an unfamiliar situation, but you are going to be able to thrive there. You just have to kind of like embrace the temperance angel here. Dip one foot in, keep one foot out, and kind of get your balance before you take a dive. And that's it, one step at a time, which nicely connects to not forcing things. So the Fool card. So what we've had so far is communicating, avoiding committing to something that isn't good, taking a step towards change, and then understanding that things either work or they don't. This is really important when you're forging new relationships, if you're trying something new in business, or if you're kind of experimenting with anything new in your life. So this isn't necessarily antithetical or the opposite of the devil, but it definitely is a challenge to the devil because it's free. It's not going to constrain things. The Fool is stepping into something new, something better. And I think I put on the bottom, I did, onward and upward. And that's really what the Fool is embracing here. So let me give you some examples real quick, and then we're going to get into the Celtic Cross. So with this sort of energy, what inspired it was, again, when I was looking at those engagements, it could be sort of you trying to work with somebody new. Maybe you're trying to hire someone. Maybe you're trying to find a place to do business, but they're not inviting or they're not engaging with you. Same thing with a relationship. If someone doesn't call or text you back, don't push it too much. I always use these things as litmus tests, basically. So if I have to try 2, 3, or 4 times to get something to work, maybe it's scheduling an appointment for the car or trying to make an appointment with the doctor or whatever it is, at a certain point, I reach my fill and I'm like, okay, this isn't the right avenue. It shouldn't be this hard to make something work. And invariably, when I then try someone else, it's like so easy. And I think to myself, thank goodness I dodged a bullet with that. So don't push things. The Fool is like footloose and fancy free. The Temperance card is patient, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We want to keep moving forward, but you don't have to run. Neither of these cards is about speed. It's just about slow and steady movement. The Knight of Swords is more about speed. None of these are. Okay, it's better to know where you stand and what you want and then go forward with confidence. And that's really what I'm seeing here coming through so far for you, Libra. Okay? Now let's get ready for the next component of the reading. I want to take a moment just to say welcome to everybody. It's good to see you here. Like I said earlier, show some support if you would like. You can also join me across social media for reminders of upcoming readings. A quick reminder that I do not offer any private readings at this time, nor do I have any plans to do so. So if anyone offers that to you, you know it's not me, and you can block and report. All right, let's get into the Celtic Cross and shuffle the cards. This portion of the reading can be used for the next 6 to 8 weeks, and you can apply it to the Sun, Rising, Moon, or Venus placement in your chart. I will actually go into the Sun, Rising, and Moon messages just a little bit later. So with all that being said, let me shuffle the cards and see what's in store for you, Libra. We have 2 that wanted to show up there. And I'm using one of my newer decks here, so if you ever want to see them, they're always listed on my website under decks that I use, and I'll put a link to that here in the chat as well, so you can find them. This is the Tarot of the Abyss. It's a beautiful deck. I don't use a lot of black and white ones, but the imagery in here definitely resonates. I'm so excited that for the catalyst there, we have balance. So you're showing up exactly as I would expect you to show up. And I like that. Reclamation of balance is what we're really seeing so far here for you, Libra, which is great. 2 cards here. Lots of sticking cards here, but we got to that one. All right, let me zoom out just a little bit so you can see everything, and then we'll get started. All right, fantastic. We're going to begin first with the Catalyst card. This creates action, also helps you accomplish what we see on this card, the balance that you might be seeking in your life. So this is you. I mean, we can't get any more Libra than justice or balance or the Queen of Swords. So this is basically saying, we even look at that beautiful yin and yang sort of symbol there. So for many of you, you're in a place where the balance could be lacking, or there could be something new that's challenging the balance in your life. You, by your nature, your very nature, you're going to find a way to accomplish, establish, or resume that balance. And this is just about trusting that that is underway. If there's anyone in your life that's taking away that feeling of being even-footed. If there's anyone that, if there's anything in your life, let's just say your work-life balance is off a little bit, the number one thing that you want to approach and deal with first is the reestablishment of that for you, okay? There could also be a increased focus on legal matters. And again, there could be something in your life that helps you sort of catch your breath and find that sense of finally things are moving in the right direction, okay? Let's take a look at the Celtic Cross here and really embrace all the messages here. Again, this portion is going to help us understand the ups and downs. And as we go into the centermost card, it's about enlightenment. And how fascinating that we got the two cards around blindfolds back to back. All right, so the important one, the most important one, I should say, came first. And so we have the Eight of Swords. She came through in the reverse state. The reverse state is optimal because it means that there is an unveiling, a revealing, something new that is sort of revealing itself. And let's just take a look at the original card because I think it is even easier to see with this traditional illustration what's going on here. So let's talk while I'm finding the card about the Eight of Swords reversed. Sometimes we wish we could unsee or unhear something, but you can't. And these two cards, these are the ones that showed up. The Eight of Swords and the Two of Swords, they both have blindfolds. And with the Eight of Swords in reverse, it's saying, it's kind of like Pandora's box. When things come out, they're out for a reason. Unlike Pandora's box, it's usually for your benefit. So allow for yourself to embrace what you need to look at, what you need to see right now, and to rise above. And that's really what you're getting an opportunity to do right now, okay? So what can this mean for some of you? Well, it could actually be quite beneficial. There could be an epiphany, a realization that this is what you want or this is how it is. The inconvenient part is that maybe others may not want that for you and you have to sort of go counter to expectation. That's okay. The sort of fly in the ointment piece could be that you see someone in a new light. You really wish you could put them back into that box in the way that they used to be, but they're coming through either better or worse than expected. And in this case, you just really have to allow people to show up exactly as they are. It's not your job to change them. And in fact, for some of you, trying to fix someone that doesn't want to receive assistance, that's what can throw you out of balance. And as someone who has Libra sun placement, I understand this because it took me a long time to realize that there's a time, there's a place to show up as a helper. There's a time and a place to take a step back and let people live their own lives. So a little bit of all of that is coming through for Libra this month. Focus on yourself, accept other people as they are. Always keep an open door, but you can't change them, you can't fix them, and you also can't ignore what's being presented to you. Okay, let's look at what's crossing that card. We have the Two of Swords. This is a really unique Two of Swords. It's saying try not to focus so much on, we have like the dramatic masks there that you would see with acting, like comedy and drama. You don't have to focus so much on pleasing people. You don't have to worry about making a big deal over something. You have to figure out how you identify what you want, what you desire. That's why this Two of Swords has a blank face. This is a clean slate for you to illustrate on and decide. This is society, this is parents, or this is some sort of an external thing that doesn't really serve you. And sometimes we look at ourselves and we're like, I don't think this is me. Good, that's good that you know what you don't want. That's gonna help you figure out what you do want. So to sum up the culmination of these two brilliantly illustrated cards here, you now have an understanding or an epiphany for something and you see something for how it truly is. This could help you reshape, reform, or reimagine what you could do this month. It's very empowering with these two cards at the center. It's like the wizard behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. Once we truly see the guy behind the curtain, we can start to have the real conversation, not the imposing, thing in the smoke and the mirrors and all of that. This is why the Queen of Swords came through. Let's just keep it real. Let's keep it concise. Let's see and talk about what we're seeing and feeling, and that's going to help get to the next thing in life. Let me take a quick drink and then we're going to move on to the deep past. All right, Libra. You've moved through a really challenging period. Let's actually pause and pivot for a second, and then I'll talk about this enlightened Ten of Swords. When I look at everything else, like where your head's at, where the opportunities are, we have the Ten of Pentacles here. We have love and joy here in the Ace of Cups. For many of you, you're starting to fight for your self-worth. And it's a battle, but you're going to win this battle and you're going to start to see progress. We have two aces. Good news with respect to your emotional state and ideas. Good things are springing forth, near future and future. Also, this could be love. So that to me is super exciting. Things are moving in the right direction. I'm going to help you travel through the challenges this month. I try to be as honest and also as inspirational as I can. So I'm not going to sugarcoat the challenges, but I will really give you a lot to work through them. And that's why I hope people tune into the channel. All right, so deep past. This could represent the last calendar year for you. The Ten of Swords, look at what happens here. Through the pain, wisdom. The swords are making up this beautiful owl here. And we see someone older and wiser because of the experiences here. This is maybe my favorite, new favorite, Ten of Swords. I would say tied with it is the Lightseer's deck where she's walking away. It's a bright day and the crows are overhead and she's like, I can't be bothered with that. I've learned my lesson. So in this particular card, we see someone who has traveled through that. It can take a little bit of time to let go of all of that, and I understand it. But if we take a look at the cards here, it's so worth letting go because the Queen of Pentacles is awaiting you. So yes, there was some pain, but it's starting to ease. Yes, there is a little bit of attachment to this, but the sooner you release it, the sooner you start to embrace and understand and connect to all of the beauty that's in front of you. So we have the Queen of Pentacles here, and I love that she's sort of digging into her treasure trove here and discovering something new. I think for many of you, this could be kind of like a phoenix rising from the ashes. You thinking and understanding like, oh, wow, I'd forgotten that I had this passion, I had this skill, or you're starting to just really feel your power, and all of a sudden, the Midas touch is kicking in. And it's such a welcome change after last year. So this could have been a really acrimonious or difficult separation or release, and it's followed by an opportunity that comes knocking. And let me tell you, you are ready to answer that door and embrace it. So that's great. The Queen of Pentacles is nurturing and divine feminine, and also a very abundant symbol. Some of you might be pregnant. Some of you might have gotten a new job. Some of you are getting a second lease on life, or finding that second breath that, all of a sudden you're running a race and you suddenly kind of feel this like sprint of energy coming through you. So good on you, good for you. I'm so happy that this is coming through. It represents a change for the better, okay? This is going to be important because as I took a sneak peek here, when I'm looking at you, we had the Five of Pentacles, which is kind of a foil or a counter to this. And I want to make sure that you remember that you've done the soul work to deserve, to embrace, and to embody the Queen of Pentacles. So yay for that. This period of time, this next 6 to 8 weeks, is a time during which I would absolutely encourage you to focus more on finances, more on your personal health. This card also rules the house, home, the business. So all of those things that are close and near and dear to you, that's what this is really connecting with, okay? Let's take a look at how this is paying off. It's kind of exciting here. So we have the Ten of Pentacles here. Two of the most domestic cards that I could pull. Queen of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. Eternal Mother, and also very sort of domestic energy. And then this is also about house, home, and business. If we take a look at the two together, you can see things are starting to finally come together. Again, this is all of the things that you've been working hard to manifest. And the Ten of Pentacles, what a gorgeous illustration here. We see all the typical trappings here. We see friends and family. We see the tree, and then all of the pentacles, which usually are traced over top of the card in the shape of the tree. So the thing that's kind of interesting about this, two things: how deep the roots go and how winding the sort of road is as we look at this. So for many of you, you may be achieving success later than expected. So your road was the winding road, but your roots are stronger and firmer planted. And again, looking at the Ten of Swords reverse, the wisdom and the pain that you experienced is going to help you from having to repeat that in the future. So in this case, the Ten of Swords gives you the understanding to embrace the joy of the Ten of Pentacles when it comes knocking. New jobs, new opportunities, new connections. I love that we also see the partnership that sometimes gets lost in this card. That can be friends, it can be lovers, it can be something even deeper and bigger in your life, a mentorship. Because the Ten of Pentacles is beyond just the sort of the heart energy of the Ten of Cups. It's really kind of connecting on multiple levels, like working together, learning from each other, and possibly also loving each other too. So I love all of those sort of components here. Also, look at this nice story that's unfolding for you. This is feeling like you were lost, but finding yourself, figuring out what you want. This is understanding that you may have to create something like a template or a mold for yourself that didn't exist, because this is who you are. The pain is over. It's time now to focus on you. And someone else is coming in and seeing the work that you've done, and they're saying, hey, let's do this together. You don't have to be alone anymore. That's one of the things here too, is help, assistance, partnership, and also people that are interested in investing or connecting with you. Good stuff, and well earned. Good for you, because it's been a moment for some of you. And the wisdom in this Ten of Pentacles, this Ten of Swords rather, really makes me happy, and it's what led way to the Ten of Pentacles. Now for the fun stuff. In the near future, we have the Ace of Cups. It's a reverse card, so let's talk about the reversal, and then let's talk how to bring it into the upright position. An ace is potential, and almost all aces are positive. The Ace of Cups in reverse can be a little bit blocked or unexpected when it's reversed. So what you can do to pull it in the upright position is to just let go. And it's a lot easier said than done. There could be something that you've been holding on to for a while, and the Queen of Pentacles is coming through first to say, let's birth this, let's release this, then let's just let it go and see what happens. Only let something go when you truly feel comfortable with it and love it. So this is especially true for those of you that are creating something beautiful in your life, a project, or if you're working on something, home improvement or whatever. You know when the time is done and when you're just kind of like, there's nothing left to do. When it's that moment, let it go. This is also saying it's okay to let loose some of the emotions or the frustration that you might be holding on to. Have a good cry, have a good laugh. It helps. I've been there. I understand that. I don't know why, and I think we're getting better with this, but historically it's been frowned upon, especially for men, to sort of be emotional or in touch with that emotion, but you got to get it out somehow, folks. So however you want to channel it, I think we might have talked about it in the Weekend Collective a little bit, but one of the things that you have to focus on is a creative or energetic outlet that feels good for you, and that's going to help as well. Finally, with all aces, but especially because we had both an Ace of Cups and an Ace of Wands, and both of these were reversed. The Ace of Cups is what your heart feels. The Ace of Wands can be what your mind thinks and also what your body does. So when it comes to reactions in your life, if you have a gut reaction that something's great, follow it. If you have, something in the pit of your stomach where it says the antithesis, listen to that as well. When it comes to love, everything may look good on paper, but if you're not feeling it, don't do it. And that's what I was seeing, a contract. Wait until the right connection comes through, because you're doing everything necessary to find the right connection. Part of understanding your worth is discernment and saying, I don't have to settle. We talked about this in my recent one card pull about not settling for good enough, like that old Sarah McLachlan song. There's more than that. And so never settle for less than what you are worth or what you deserve. And that's a nice segue actually into the Five of Pentacles. So new love, new opportunity, new ideas are coming in. But the one thing that you really want to work on right now is understanding how valuable you are. I do like that we see an embrace in this card. Typically in the Five of Pentacles, we see two people that could reach out to one another but don't. So right now the script is flipping a little bit for you, and there is an opportunity to find people that appreciate, embrace, and see the value. But there could be a soul scar from the past, and what happens is, as children, even as young adults, we have things that go on where there's rejection, and it cuts deeper than you think. And I think that at this point in your life, you're getting to a point where you can see that that was just one moment in time, and it doesn't denote what everything is going to be like moving forward. It's a chapter, it's in the past, it gave you context, it gave you wisdom, but here's the traditional card because it helps to see it just a little bit. So what we see in the Five of Pentacles are two wounded people, and it's hard for two wounded people to fix things. In a relationship, this can be where both of you love each other, but neither has the tools or the wherewithal to sort of like be there the way the other person needs it. Years later, that may change, but for now, what I want you to realize is you did the best you could, and others may have done the best they could. Now, you're truly seeing your actual worth. This is your worth. This is an echo from the past. Your worth is double the echo. So you're at a point now where you're coming through with 10 of Pentacles. There is a little bit of a veil of the Five of Pentacles around you. If someone around you fails to see your potential and lowballs an offer, like for a job, or they're trying to charge you too much for something, and you think to yourself, I don't want to get in debt, you know exactly what your budget is, what your energy expenditure is, and how much you want to put into something. Don't second guess it, Libra. I have faith in you, and this is a month to really focus on healing. In fact, if we take a look here, right in your health card, we see the power of joy coming through, this Buddha-like figure saying, hey, this is a moment to really embrace this time and this period, and it's through joy and love that this can happen. And guess what? Right here knocking in the environment, we have none other than the Page of Pentacles. And this is why it's so pivotal to really see and embrace your worth. This page has a key right there on the tree, so he has the ability to open doors. He also has the ability to close doors. And we see incoming an opportunity. So this is about preparation to either say yes or to say no. And it's really not a question of if, but when. So if you're trying to manifest, this is a very affirmative card saying, yes, it's incoming. What I also love about this is just how grounded this Page of Pentacles is. He's leaning into this energy, looking at the resources, looking at what he can do, and that's going to be how he grounds the discussion. It's really not going to be a matter of, am I worth it? It's not only am I worth it, but this is how we're going to go about doing it. These are my thoughts. This is the plan, etc., etc. So I really love that sort of energy. Lean into facts, figures, information, trust yourself, and stay in that space of strength. Beautiful card. And again, I love that we have the Knight incoming. So the page is bringing in the Knight. You're just a few steps away from the next big thing. And so don't lose faith, okay? Let's take a look at your environment. I'm also going to turn up my air conditioning a little bit because it's gotten warm here. And then we're going to talk about the King of Wands and the Four of Pentacles, which again are kind of in conflict, but I'm going to help you resolve that conflict. One moment here. All right. Thank you for that. As we look at these two cards here in hopes, fears, and opportunities. The hidden opportunity is the beautiful King of Wands, and he's basically working his magic. And then we have a potential block in the form of the Four of Pentacles. So let's talk our way through that, and then let's focus on the magic. The Four of Pentacles, if we kind of think of childhood, could represent that security blanket. It could be a stuffed animal. It could be an actual blanket. It could just be the nightlight that you needed before you went to bed. Something that you needed until you grew enough to understand that that was just an object or a representation of safety, but the true sense of security was from within. As an adult, the habits that we keep in our life, sometimes drinking too much, partying too much, whatever, or working too much, it can go to any extreme. Those sorts of things can constitute Four of Pentacles. More likely than not, it could be holding on to a relationship, a job, or an activity where you're putting way too much in but not getting a lot out. And it's that feeling like, if I let go of it, what will be there? So just like you were as a child and you let go of something, there was growth, there was improvement, there was the ability to move beyond. You found the strength within, and this Four of Pentacles is reminding you that, of that, I should say. And as we look here at what's waiting for you, it is empowerment. So we have one of the ultimate boss cards, second only to the Emperor, the King of Wands. He's coming through and he's cultivating, he's conjuring up, and he's kindling the fire here. All of these beautiful sort of magical energies. When you truly put your energy behind something and you think, I don't need those training wheels. That's another example of Four of Pentacles. I don't need those things supporting me anymore. I've got this. Then you have this, and great things are going to happen. What I like about him is he is engaged. He's not sitting back on a throne. He's actually at the fire, fanning the flames. So this is a month where leadership requires hands-on work. And for those of you that are in the presence of someone who's hands off and it's not very inspiring, you may be looking for something where there's more engagement from leadership, from mentors, from people that you respect. And maybe this is a moment where you, Libra, step into that energy of empowerment. If you were ever looking for a time to launch, to push something along, to really start to see movement, it's now. If you want to focus on personal development, this is also an optimal time because we've got the Queen of Pentacles here, which is about taking care of yourself. We have aces, which are like two seeds, two opportunities to really see things move. And then we have this very, even though it's fire, he's very grounded and very determined. I think that's the best way to determined and connected King of Wands. We just have to get past some old cycles here with the Five of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. So this is something from the past, a confidence issue. This is a safety issue, like a security issue, feeling like I need this to be safe. But everything up here is saying, you know, you're good. You've got this. So you have this chance to really bring a newfound balance into your life, and I hope you can do it because I'm excited of what's availing itself to you. And again, near future an ace, future an ace, love, ideas, possibly two things, and this is what the Two of Swords can represent, two things that are difficult to discern between or to decide between because they're both appealing. And I should hope we all have opportunities where it's like, oh my gosh, there's so many good things, I don't know what to do. You have a couple of good things on the horizon for you. So embrace that. Let's talk a little bit about the Ace of Wands and then we'll expand the forecast. This is also a vitality card. So my first question for you is, and I love that there's a phoenix on this too. How are you feeling right now, Libra? Are you feeling a little bit exhausted? Are there some motivation issues? Are you overthinking things too much? Because the reversal of this Ace of Wands can represent those things. Once you stop overthinking things, once you take care of yourself, get enough rest, just basically prioritize self-care, then we see the phoenix rising from the ashes, then we see movement, and she's also connected to that King of Wands, and you're able to basically add more fuel to the fire. So we have passion, we have ideas, and we have potential here. Let's bring that sort of like three cards together and almost make like the Three of Pentacles or the Three of Wands. That's what I hope for you, okay? Now, let's expand this and go much deeper. We're going to go into health, wealth, love, and destiny, beginning with the health card. As the title says, this is mind, body, and spirit. I'm not a replacement for a doctor, for a financial advisor, or a psychiatrist. What I am is a tarot reader and an intuitive, and what I'd like to do today is help open up energy and potential for you. Your health card is around having some fun, and you know what? You deserve it, Libra. Many of you have been through things, like I said here. When we look at the past, we have the Ten of Swords. Could be some difficulty, some pain. We're going to talk more about this in a moment since I'm looking at health. But emotionally speaking, this could have just been some challenges in your life. It's okay on the heels of that to enjoy yourself. You've paid your dues. It's also saying, like, if you're achieving success in work, you really want to take a moment to celebrate that success, or anything in your life, personal development, etc. If you are feeling like it's all work and no fun, this card is agreeing with that and saying, please, however fun is defined by you, allow for more of that to be in your life. Inner child healing comes through, and I love that whenever we have any incarnation of the Buddha here, it's really reminding you to smile, have fun, and play, especially if you didn't get a chance to do it when you were a kid. Some of you may have had to grow up early or fast, maybe because of a loss in the family or because there was a lot of responsibility put on you at too young of an age. Now is your chance to kind of have some fun and let the inner child come out to play. Someone asked me the other day in a comment, like, what's the inner child? It's just the part of you that didn't get a chance to really be its authentic self when you were younger. I mean, I would think that it makes sense, but sometimes it's just a phrase we throw around. So it's the younger version of you that still lives there, that still wants to be healed, to be heard, and to remind you, don't forget what it's like to just enjoy. The children cards in tarot, like the Six of Cups and the Fool, and you know, some of those cards, they remind of the sun too. It reminds us of the importance of joy, and that's what this is. Now let's just focus on the cards and some additional markers that they may have in your life for health. Again, standard disclaimer here. If you're experiencing anything, talk to a doctor. But this is going to show where the energy blockages are, which oftentimes find a way through to our bodies. Ten of Swords, chronic pain or fatigue. It's been coming through a lot in different signs. Some of you are just working too hard. Some of you may be doing things that, just aren't sustainable or healthy. And this card comes through as a wake-up call. I have a belief, no pain, no pain. Forget the old thing, no pain, no gain. So one of these days when I launch my merch, that'll be one of them. You don't have to experience pain to accomplish growth in your life. It's one route, as we talked about here, but it's not the only one. And the older and wiser person doesn't have all the swords in him. He's like, been through that, done it, not doing that again. So what you can do if you're on the heels of that, or even in the throes of something painful, you can communicate to whatever your connection to the divine is, whatever word or words or pantheon or whatever it is that you connect with God or the universe. And you can just say, thank you for the lesson. It was tough. I learned a lot. I don't need it anymore. I offer you this lesson and I'm open now to receive love, abundance, and joy in the highest forms. Definitely put joy in your mantra this month, okay? And he's holding a rainbow. There is a rainbow after the storm, folks. And let's embrace that. All right, next thing that we want to look at. We have the Five of Pentacles here. It can actually have to do with your lower extremities. So this card was still handy. It's great for this. So when we look at the Five of Pentacles, some of you, like me last year, might have had an injury with your foot or your leg. Take care of that. Give it time. Don't rush. This is also a card saying slow down. I was talking in a recent video about ice. I think it was Virgo. Whenever I see ice, it represents transmuted water. So the ability to change. But what we have to do sometimes is just slow down. Slow down and focus on your emotional healing. Again, inner child healing. We see that here, a need for an outlet. Everybody's outlet is different. It can be therapy, it can be dance, it can be talking, it can be art. I don't care what it is for you. I just care that you find it. Find something and channel your energy. That's going to be really important as well. Some of the stress you're holding, it's in an area that I don't necessarily want to see it. The Four of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. So some of you are carrying stress here. So it could be shoulders. You could be feeling like it's difficult breathing. Work on exercise and obviously, again, talking through some of these things. We don't want stress here. We don't want it in the feet or the legs. Some of you might have, you might be sitting too much and there's tightness in the legs as well. And then again, the chronic pain or fatigue. Obviously work with a professional on this, but one thing that I'm seeing is just how to deal with tension in your life and stress, and how to have important sort of emotional releases. Definitely pivotal and definitely a part of the journey. There are doors opening, there are opportunities knocking. So the more you can focus on your body and your strength and your health and your emotional stability, the more you can embrace all of these things that are ready to come through. Finally, you had both cards here that are showing not wanting to see something. Eight of Swords, Two of Swords, blindfolded. Something may be going on and you don't want to deal with it. It's even more important now than ever that you deal with it. Obviously, hearing and sight always come to mind when these cards come through. So if you need to get a new prescription or need to get your eyes checked or haven't had a hearing test in a while or whatever, it's time to look at those things. Otherwise, it's pretty good. I mean, most of these things are manageable. Many of them are emotional. For this, definitely listen to your body and don't push it too far. Ten of Swords is sometimes acute or chronic, and you want to get that checked out whenever that comes through. And have some fun. See a funny movie. Do something that you're hanging out with friends. You don't need my permission, and you probably can figure out what joy is for you easier than I can. So whatever it is, go for it, folks, okay? We're going to transition into wealth now. Resources, life purpose, career, all of those things. For some of you, you're like, Nicholas, when is it going to change? This is like we have stillness in the lake here, and the antithesis of it when it's reversed. It's like either things are so turbulent that you wish it could slow down, or you're so bored and tired of waiting that you wish someone would throw a rock in this lake and create some movement. So let's start for the people that are just feeling like there's too much going on. For you, it's finding the stillness in your life. And it may not be a lot of stillness. It could just be, you know what, after the kids are asleep or after you've done all your work and all of this stuff, you're going to take a 10-minute, maybe for some of you might be taking a nap, but maybe you can also take an Epsom salt bath, or you're going to meditate or listen to a podcast while you're sitting in bed with your partner or something, or whatever it is. I don't care. I know some of you have big families and you're busy. I'm just asking you to carve out 3, 5, or 10 minutes. These small amounts of time can incrementally increase that joy in your life and can create a stillness, a calm in the storm. And if you can be the calm in the storm, even better. So when people are kind of like going a mile a minute, freaking out around you a little bit, you can say, okay, I hear you. Let's figure this out. And rather than meeting their stress and anxiety with stress and anxiety, you're going to breathe and say, all right, I hear what you're saying. I think I have some ideas, or I think we can solve this together. But why don't we take a walk? Let's go get some food. Let's try to bring them down a little bit. Try to meet them a little bit, but meet in the middle, but don't meet them up here. Okay? Try to get them into your stillness and into your calm. For those of you that are bored of waiting, there are ways to create movement that don't mean necessarily having to just sort of like create a splash. Sometimes the movement's beneath the surface. Thinking of like a lotus blossom that has to push its way up and then all of a sudden it's there. So there may be movement, but it's slower than you wish. You may be filled with like action and you need to create small moments of stillness. So find where you can move or where you can find stillness, and that's where the power is this month. Let's now specifically open it up to, I'm going to look at those of you that are working and then maybe those that are not working. Either retired or unemployed. We'll take a look at all of them lately. I've been trying to expand this. If you're working, it's interesting. There's a lack of validation coming through with the 2 swords here, 8 of swords and 2 of swords. It's like, who am I? Why am I here? Do you guys see me? You might not be getting enough accolades. Maybe there's money, but there's no recognition. Maybe there's more that you feel like you could be doing, but again, you're just not being tapped creatively the way you wish you could be. I do see a burnout track for some of you, so be kind and be cognizant of that. Kind to yourself and cognizant of that, and advocate for more. I also see some of you are not getting enough support, whether that's support as far as coworkers or your boss or money, and you're worth it. And if you can't find it here, you can probably find it somewhere else. I always like to remind folks to get that security net before you go to the bargaining table, because it gives you even more power. But suffice it to say, there's at least a couple opportunities on the horizon for you. It's a good time, if you want to stay put, to have a conversation about worth and sort of long-term goals. It may take a while to get there, but you can do this. They may only be able to give you a little bit, but get it in writing. That's the one thing that I would say here. Get it in writing and make sure that it's baked into long-term goals. I do see stress. I can see some of you, it could be fatigue, it could be burnout. It could also just be this feeling like I can't express myself, my ideas or my emotions. And that's basically an invitation to look for something better if that's the case. I think there are more opportunities for growth and partnership. The new job, this is kind of transitioning into those that are unemployed. It's coming from someone that you know and love. So whether you are employed and looking or unemployed and looking, now we're going to pivot into that. 10 of Pentacles, it tells the whole story. Whatever you seek, it's actually from someone that you know, and you have what it takes to create this connection. So don't be afraid to reach out and say, hey, I think you know this person. Would you mind introducing us? Or, hey, have you guys heard of anything? I'm looking for this. Communicate into your network and see if they don't have some ideas for you. There are a couple of opportunities that some of you, it would be advantageous rather than working 2 to find 1 job, because I see 2 part-time jobs that kind of fill the gap, but it's not ideal. So this would be short-term, this would be long-term. Try to find the long-term solution that doesn't create exhaustion. For unemployed though, just this is not letting it get to you. And it's easier said than done. And I've been unemployed 2 times in my life. I've been underemployed too. So the way that I got through it, I had some support. My parents are no longer living, but when I was younger, there was a point right out of college where the stock market crashed and, the .com thing, went in the wrong direction. And I needed to stay with them for, 3 or 4 months. And I did. And then I found something and it was cool. And I couldn't wait to get out of there either, but it was a really nice place to land. So sometimes you've got to do that. Sometimes it's crashing with a friend or whatever. So reach out if you need support. I've been through those situations. The other interesting thing was that not everyone knows how to show up when things aren't perfect. So, if you are in a situation where, your job has changed or your life has changed or you're between living situations or between relationships, the cool thing is you find out who your real friends are. It may not be a whole group. I like that we just see 2 hands here. So you might have a bestie during this period that ends up being the best of the best friends. And because you went through that, because that person could see you during this period and see you through it, you know what? I'd rather have a few people that I can count on than dozens that are, flaking. So you could really have an opportunity to see who has your back. And that's a gift in this period too. I do think that there are 2 opportunities on the horizon. I think you have room to go to the negotiation table if you're trying to get a job. Make sure that you don't overdo it. But we need to get, like something's down by at least 10%. You have a little bit of room for negotiation. And that's that. If you're retired right now, it feels like what you want to do is something creative. And just because you're not working doesn't mean that you can't have a connection in sort of like a group sort of thing, something like that. So whether it's volunteer work or something else, it feels like you need to feel like you are being valued and appreciated. And I agree, at any age, that's going to be important. Let's see if there's anything else. I think that's it. I do like that we have a queen and a king coming through here, the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Wands. You are going to get a handle on your money, and if you need to start something new, you can do that. The only thing here is the funding is low, so you might need to partner. Lots of partnering energy, lots of support that's coming through this month, and I like that. All right, so the next thing that we're going to look at is love and relationships, but not before I take a drink here. All right, thank you for that. Love and relationships. As you can see here, it can be friends, romantic, platonic, basically the whole gamut. And you got 2 cards here on this. Let's take a look at the presenting and then the hidden card. So the presenting one is, I'm just gonna have to read these because they're verbose. All right, so this is the one that is presenting, but not necessarily obvious because it's reversed. To me, it looks like an eyeball. It's almost like an optic nerve. Sorry, I hit the camera above me. So it's kind of like the third eye. All right, so with this, when I'm in alignment with the love of the universe, peace cannot be disrupted. Let's make it less words. When I'm aligned with the frequency of love, I'm at peace. Love creates peace. When I feel love, when I love myself, when I have that unconditional love, I am at peace. Others can't take that away. That's an easier way. This is, my take on some of these cards. Say it easier. We don't need something flowery. So get into the frequency of love. People can't take your power when you love yourself and when you feel that sense that you've got this, okay? And I like that it is kind of like an eye. You have to see it first. It's your third eye in a sort of weird way. So if you can see it, others can see it. Look at this. So this is the hidden opportunity. When I lean towards love, there's a common thread here, I am led. So love is your compass. Come on, folks, with these. My undergraduate was journalism. I focused in PR and I have an English major. Not everything that I say is perfect, but when you're gonna print it on a card, let's make it succinct. So when you are in the frequency of love, others can't take it away from you. Love is your compass. Paraphrased, but easier to understand. Yay for that. I'm looking at love, folks. Love is an important piece. Do you love yourself? That's the first thing. And it's a loaded question because it's not easy to just say yes or no. We all have things we want to work on. But if you kind of take a bird's eye view from 1,000 feet above or 10,000 feet, do you love and accept your path? Are there things that you need to work on when it comes to love and acceptance? That has to happen first. That'll help flip the Ace of Cups that we saw. Do you like where you're working? Do you like who you're spending time with? And do you like where you live? Like all of these things, start to look at things and not just like, do you love your coworkers? Do you love your job? Do you love your living situation? Look at everything through rose-colored glasses, through the lens of love, and ask yourself, do I love this? And if you do, good. And if you don't, you know where the work is. Let's put that to the side now. We're going to look at 3 different levels of love. We're going to focus on those of you in a loving relationship first, then those of you that are seeking love, and those that are happily single. One more drink and then we'll get into this. My throat is just a little bit dry. Probably because I turned the air conditioner on. All right. For those of you in love, I have a very easy first step. Just saying I love you and thank you will go so far, because these are the opposite of those. This is like you don't see me, and this is you don't hear me. And so all you have to do is acknowledge and say, I see you, I hear you, I love you, thank you. And then you can also say, I noticed that you seem to be upset. Is there something I can help with? What's going on? Like, be present, be inquisitive, be supportive, and authentically so, not sort of in a condescending way. Be very, very heart-centric and lead with that. First steps. And I like to look at this in the realm, I look at it as a healthy relationship first, and then maybe those that are needing more work. So in the healthy one, you just a little bit more thank you, a little bit more presence is going to be key. One or both of you are communicating in a different way, and it's not connecting all the time, it's misfiring. We see a very practical energy here, someone focusing on the bottom line, looking at the budget, trying to make everything work, sometimes being taking care of everyone. It's a maternal card. And then we see someone here that's kind of on their own, doing their own thing. They may not communicate stuff, they show it. This person needs a little bit more confirmation and affirmation. So speaking, what's missing in this is swords. We need like a page of swords in the middle of all this to bring it together. I like the life you've built. I love the love that you have. It feels like things are holding you back a little bit. Could be not wanting to show your true sort of colors here. This can just be holding back. This can be finances. This can be fear of rejection. So there's some stuff from the past that's coloring the moment, but we do have 2 aces in the future. Most healthy relationships can move through this. The only thing that's coming up in relationships that might be challenged right now is not just a lack of communication, but arguing. The 10 of Swords is arguing. For many of you, you found a way to more constructively communicate, but for some of you, there's challenges and it's coming back. And you're basically kind of walking through things from the past, repeating an old script. So this is a chance to get out of that, but you probably will need assistance in recognizing and where you're accountable, where they're accountable, and figuring out how to make it work. I think it's manageable. 10 of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands. But what does it require? Some work, a little bit of work on both sides, and meeting in the middle, okay? For those of you looking for love right now, absolutely you can find it. We have an Ace of Cups, we have an Ace of Wands. Cups reverse, Wands reverse. Wands in reverse is a lack of sexual connection or a lack of chemistry. Cups reverse can be just a lack of preparedness for love, or maybe not feeling it. So yes, you can meet someone, but if you're not feeling it here and throughout the body, you need to be able to feel it on all levels. So don't fake that. That's something where if you feel it, and if you don't, you don't. And it's better to say you don't if you don't. Now, this can also just be opportunity knocking, but self-confidence and self-worth getting in the way. So don't hold yourself back from putting yourself out there. Easier said than done. I get it. There could have been something painful or acrimonious in the past, but it is in the deep past, and it's not presenting itself anywhere else in the spread. So heal the past and embrace the opportunities here in the future. Very passionate energy here with the King of Wands. So some of you could be pulling in a really confident, strong, passionate King of Wands. But is he available? Not so sure about that. Are you ready? Not so sure. So what we want to do is get you ready so that the version of the King of Wands that you pull in is just as ready. I want to get you to 6 of Pentacles at least, so that you have what it takes to make some room for the relationship. So I think there's a little bit of inner work to be done. This is a nice transition into single and happy. So whether you're single and looking or single and happy, there's a lot of networking opportunities opening up. This is one of the, again, I got to keep showing the card, one of the coolest 10 of Pentacles. It's a time to really get out there, go to professional events, talk to people, lean into existing friendships as well. Put the work in, it's worth it. And also for those of you that may not have a lot of living family anymore, this is about the chosen family. So again, the friends, the activities, the school events, all those things that create added levels of extended family in your life. Maybe you're marrying into a bigger family and suddenly find yourself with a lot of people, and that's cool. Okay. For those of you then are just that are single and happy, I would say networking is key. You have at least a couple of opportunities on the horizon, and it feels like entrepreneurial energy is just definitely coming forth in a beautiful way here. I want everybody under the sign of Libra to look at their money, because I see that you've done the work. I see that there's a lot of resources, and I think there's a place where you can prune things back a little bit. For those of you that like flowers like me, there comes a point where you deadhead it. So I have like a Easter lily here. Let's see if I can get it right here. I deadheaded it. I took the flowers off, and then I leave the boring leaves up all summer so that it can charge and go back into the bulb. The reason I take the flowers off is I don't want it to waste energy on creating seeds. I want it to develop a bigger bulb. So next year I get more blossoms. Pruning, important. You do the same with a rose. You prune things. So when there's a lack of growth or something diseased, or you don't want it to put energy into forming something it doesn't need to, then it shoots out new growth or it puts roots in the ground. So we do the same in our lives. There are relationships, especially friendships, where it's just like, what am I doing here? Or I haven't heard from you in like 3 months or 3 years. It's time for me to focus on something else, okay? So there could be some pruning, and that's gonna give you more resources. And that's my last piece on love and relationships. Let's now move into destiny. It's always changing, it's always adjusting. Let's see what is coming through in this moment. You are definitely primed for this card. We have the reward. And I love this because it's in alignment with the health message. So we have the power of joy, and now we have the reward. And in the caption it says, celebrate your magnificence. So joy and celebration. Get yourself to a party. Get yourself to some sort of really good event, because this is where someone could come in and say, hey, do you want to have this dance? Hey, why haven't we met before? Or, oh, I've been thinking of you for this opportunity. Celebrate. Get out there. Have some fun. RSVP yes to an invitation. Try new things. Get out of the comfort zone and see what the world has to offer. Libra, this is a really cool month. At the end of this month, what you should find is balance. And wherever the balance doesn't exist, that's where you're going to prune. That's where you're going to move things. That's where you're going to have some fun. Now we're going to take a look at the sun, rising, and moon messages, and then we'll get into the final portion. All right, let's give this a shuffle. Well, they're all fantastic. So let's move into them one by one. We'll begin with sun sign messages. We have none other than the 7 of Pentacles here. I said I wanted to get you to the 6. This card did me one better. So for Libra sun, anyone born under this sun sign, we have the opportunity now to see growth and healing and movement. What you want to avoid is rushing it. 7 of Pentacles is still in that space where balance isn't there. When you think of numerically what the odd cards represent, particularly here, it's disruption and growth and movement. Balance is usually in the even cards, like the 6 of Pentacles or the 8 of Pentacles. But in the 7, we have that in-between space where, like going back to youth, where you're not quite into a new size, but your shirt maybe is too short and it's rising up. So you're in that in-between growth spurt. Don't push yourself too far too fast. Slow and steady wins the race. I like that she's taking care of things. And these pentacles look kind of like loaves of bread, right? So you don't want to rush it. If you can overcook it, you can undercook it. You want to give it just enough time to bake. So I like that. And that's a great sort of metaphor for things right now, Libra sun. If it's meant to be, we talked about not forcing it. It will be. If it's not, something better will come along. We see the horse on the horizon on this Page of Pentacles here. So the knight is en route. Take your time. Make sure the quality is there. Make sure you feel it. Make sure it's done. Make sure the cake is done. Make sure the bread is baked before you serve it. And ultimately, this is also saying don't overspend. Don't push yourself too far, too fast. And as long as you do this, I feel like you're going to be headed in the right position in the right time. All right. Let's transition into rising sign messages. We have Six of Wands. Fantastic. So a bunch of reversals here, but this is just showing me that some of the energy is a little bit subtle. And again, don't force it. You're finding your balance here. So the Six of Wands, we see someone here on the stage. She can't see the audience. This is like a traditional theatrical illustration for the Six of Wands. So we have like an actress or she might be a dancer. It looks more like ballet, but she's on the stage sort of taking her bow, but she can't see, she might be able to hear, but she can't see all of the applause. She can't see all of the audience out there. Success is like that. It's hard to quantify until sometimes you achieve a gold star, an award, some applause, but know this, the card wouldn't come through if you were not on the heels of success or in the throes of success. So what I like to say with the Six of Wands reversed is you're leading the charge. Other people may not be there in that moment, but they'll eventually figure it out. It's kind of like a sleeper hit or a cult hit that finds a way years later of really just getting the respect that it deserves. So if at first you don't achieve that sort of splash that you wanted, because we had the stillness card today, don't let it go to your head. Just keep forging forward, and eventually your audience will find you. So we see she already has that there, and she may just for the first time be hearing the applause. In the traditional Six of Wands, we see here that someone may just be leading the way and saying, this is how it's done. Even if you don't understand, you've got to trust me. And I love that even the horse on this card is like, are you sure? So you have to be sure. You have to be sure. Confidence, again, coming through. Rising and ascendant has a lot to do with how you appear at large, in public, at work, your projection. So we want your projection to be authentically confident, not just sort of like a false sense of confidence or, wishing you were confident. I want you to feel that. So feel that you've got this, know that you can do this, and that's going to attract the success that you so deserve. Moon sign. It's you. We got the King of Swords in reverse. Let's look at the illustration upright so we can kind of drink it in. What an awesome King of Swords. Right above him, we see this, I guess it's the sun, but it almost looks like his crown chakra just like blasting out there. Your ideas, your words, your communication, it's really leading the charge here. The card is reversed, which makes this a really interesting King of Swords because reversed, it's very to the point. It's like yes or no, and there's no apologies over it. So if you don't want to do just something, you can just say, no, thank you. And that's it. If you want something, rather than playing games, say, let's do this. Yeah, I'm on board. Are you? Very direct, very distinct, very to the point. The only thing you want to avoid with this Libra moon is basically it's all about timing. And I would say both King and Queen of Swords can benefit from a little bit of empathy and a little bit more putting themselves in other people's shoes. So try to imagine how and when you would want to receive the message and use that to color and flavor the communication. Definitely say what needs to be said, but there's always an optimal way of communicating it. So think about that. Okay. But ultimately, you're being put in a position of leadership. Notice how he's on a pedestal. Try not to make it such a high pedestal that you feel like you can't make it happen. All of the cards this month were good. As we were looking at the expanded version here. So we had the Seven of Pentacles. They're all reversed, but let's look at them upright. Right. This is basically saying movement, growth, and recovery. And then we have the Six of Wands, literally success. And then we have a leadership card here in the King of Swords. So nary a bad card in all three of those. Put them all together and look at the overarching energy of Libra, and it's a pretty good month. The reversal of these is, again, showing that something's out of balance. And when you find the balance, then you can get into your creative flow like we see here in this card. All right? Let's get ready for the final component. One more time, if you haven't hit like and subscribe, let me tell you why it's important. It helps other people discover it. At the bottom of the, really the main thing of it is that YouTube takes a look at all levels of engagement. So leaving a comment, so helpful. Liking this or sharing this or subscribing if it's your first time here. It basically says, hey folks, this is a really interesting video. Take a look at it. So thank you if you want to engage. It really helps. If you want reminders, follow me on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh. I do not offer any private readings. So when or if, and it's usually a when, people pretend to be me, you know it's not me. The only way to connect is here on YouTube through a live premiere, through a live stream, or through this official channel. If you ever have any questions or want to figure out what's going on, you can also go to my website for more information. Thank you in advance to those of you giving back right now. Because I'm in the chat, I will actually say thanks in real time. All right, let's get ready for the meditation right now as I'm looking at everything on the table. I'm loving the strong tree that's coming forth in the Ten of Pentacles. And I also love this beautiful solar energy on the top of the King of Swords. So we're going to mix those two. The sun and the tree is what I'd like to pull into the meditation. So if you have any questions that I haven't yet answered, scribble it down, because I do answer a final question at the end. In the meantime, once you've done that, do me a favor and close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, I'd like you to imagine yourself at a magical meadow. This doesn't have to be something, this can be sort of just in your mind, or if there's a place in everyday life that you like to go and hike, etc., that's fine. But just imagine that everything around you is this beautiful shade of emerald green. Maybe it is something that you would see in Ireland or New Zealand, somewhere where there's a lot of lush green, kind of like the color of the trees behind me. So close your eyes and see this beautiful, rich green energy all around you. You can imagine some flowers blooming, some bees buzzing around, and find a place where it's nice and quiet where you can lay down for a moment. And right above you, you see these golden beams of light coming through, almost like one of those paintings that you see where it's like bigger than life, these streams of light. Find a place where you can really allow for your entire body to be painted by these brilliant pillars of light. And as you do that, you have the healing energy of green around you, which represents the heart space, it represents abundance, and it shows growth in your life. If there's anything in your life where you don't see growth or abundance, imagine that you could place your hands on the ground, breathe, and on the exhale, you could send that energy of healing and growth to that part of your life or even that part of your body. Now accepting the bright, warm light of the sun above you, which is dancing through the trees above. Feel this sense of power. You are plugged into the universal flow of energy. Allow this to go into whatever part of your body feels depleted, or you could just feel like you plugged into an outlet and the whole body lights up. For most of us, we can just imagine that. So the light now is basically creating this beautiful, luminous, golden being, which is pretty close to what you look like in another dimension. So just imagine that you could step back and see yourself, this golden being surrounded by green energy everywhere. Allow for yourself to feel empowered and also productive and abundant as we breathe and meditate. And then I'll answer your final question. Taking a nice deep breath. Allow for yourself to just kind of feel this sense of being as light as a feather, being able to easily drift into or slide into the next big chapter of your life with minimal resistance. You have aligned your mind, body, and spirit to create, to co-create, to allow for this movement. On the next natural exhale, please open your eyes and focus, if you will, on the final question that you have for me. It can be anything that you would like. Just focus on that question. You don't even have to type it or write it. Just think about it, and let's see what the card has to say. Love it. We have the Empress card. Yes, she is reversed, but also look at how connected she is. What does an Empress reverse stand for? Basically, it's time to let go. And we talked about this a little bit earlier when we looked at the Four of Pentacles. So this is holding on to something beyond its time, and this is about releasing it and allowing yourself to basically step into something newer, bigger, better, etc. It's a card of birthing and rebirthing, just as much as we could see in like the Judgment card, because if I were to imagine the universe, the energy of it, it has divine feminine. It's all about creation, right? So why wouldn't we pick a divine feminine card to represent rebirth as well? So you can create something new. You can change something. You can mold something new. As a yes, no, it's a yes, but it has with it an asterisk and a caveat. Yes, but you have to stand behind this. This is about ownership, your voice, and your power. And if something doesn't allow you to step into new relationship or opportunity with that sense of empowerment and autonomy and ownership, it's not the right fit just yet. Remember, a big part of today was don't force it if it doesn't fit, okay? Such a beautiful month ahead. I hope that each and every Libra out there finds the balance they so deserve. And I just want to express gratitude that you spent some time with me today and took a look at the twists and turns today. So I've already said thanks in real time to everybody, but I'd like to give one last shout out to all of you that found my video for the first time. Definitely like and subscribe so you never miss something new. I'd like to say thanks to all of the longtime members and subscribers and viewers who've watched me over the last 8.5 years. And yes, it's been that long. Thank you so much for this support and for letting me try new things and do new things. It's been amazing. And that's really just about it. If you'd like to show some love and support, you can still do it. Super stickers and super chats during the live stream. And then there's a thanks button on replay that allows you to put a sticker in the comments. And I see all of those and I heart all of those when I get a moment. So thank you everybody for being present. Lots of love and light. A reminder that I'm here every Monday and Thursday and Friday as live premieres. Then I'm here every weekend for a live stream on Sunday. Plus, I'd also do celestial events like new moons and eclipses and things of that nature. And I do daily card reads. So stick around, check out the main channel page, and I hope you enjoy the week and month ahead. Take care of yourselves, lots of love and light, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.